Welcome to Real English Voices. I am your host, Tom.
And I am Ria. Hello, everyone. It is so good to be back here with you all today.
Ria, today we have a topic that I think is going to change a lot of lives. It is actually something I have been struggling with myself lately, and I know for a fact that almost every single English learner listening right now deals with this.
Oh, now you have me curious, Tom. You have been struggling with something? You always seem so confident. What is the topic?
The topic is stop caring. Specifically, how to stop caring about what other people think of you, how to stop caring about making mistakes, and how to stop caring about looking silly when you speak English.
Wow, that is a heavy one, Tom. But you are right. It is probably the number one reason why people do not speak. They are just paralyzed by the fear of what others will think.
Exactly. It is paralyzed. That's the perfect word. You know, I remember when I was first learning to play the guitar, I was terrible, truly terrible. I would not play if anyone was in the house. If my roommate walked in, I would immediately stop. I cared so much about them hearing a wrong note that I ended up not practicing at all.
I relate to that so much. I think we're wired as human beings to want to fit in, right? We want to be accepted. So the moment we do something that might make us look weak or uneducated, like struggling to find a word in English, our brain just hits the panic button.
The panic button. I like that image. It's like an alarm going off in your head saying, "Stop! You're going to embarrass yourself." But here's the truth, Ria. That alarm is a lie.
It is a lie? How so?
Because the reality is, nobody cares as much as you think they do. And realizing that is the most freeing feeling in the world.
That sounds a bit harsh, though, does it not? Saying nobody cares. It sounds a bit lonely.
I can see why you would say that, but let me put it this way. Imagine you're walking down the street and you trip over your own feet. You stumble a little bit. In that moment, your face goes red, your heart starts racing, and you think everyone on the street saw you and is laughing at you. You think you're the main character in a movie and the spotlight is on you.
Oh, yes, the spotlight effect. I know that feeling well. I spilled coffee on my shirt once right before a meeting, and I felt like everyone was staring at the stain for the entire hour.
Exactly. But Ria, tell me honestly, when you see a stranger trip on the street, do you go home and think about it for the rest of the day? Do you call your friends and say, "Guess what? I saw a guy trip today"?
No, of course not. I probably forget about it 5 seconds after it happens. I'm too busy thinking about my own life, my own problems, or what I'm going to have for dinner.
Precisely. And that's the magic. Everyone is the main character in their own movie. They're not the audience in yours. They're too busy worrying about themselves to judge you for using the wrong verb tense or mispronouncing a word.
That's actually really comforting when you put it that way. We're suffering because we think we're being scrutinized, but really, everyone else is just worried about their own performance.
Spot on. And once you stop caring about that imaginary audience, you unlock a new level of fluency because you're not filtering every word through fear. You're just communicating.
Tom, I think this is a great moment to pause and review what we've just said. We've been speaking quite naturally and quickly, and there were 3 words in particular that I think our listeners might find challenging.
That's a great idea, Ria. Which 3 words stood out to you in this first section?
The first word is paralyzed. You used it right at the beginning.
Yes, paralyzed.
To be paralyzed usually means you cannot move your body physically, but in this context, we used it metaphorically. It means to be so scared or overwhelmed that you cannot take action. You're frozen.
Right, like being paralyzed by fear. What was the second word?
The second word is scrutinized. That's a tricky one to pronounce. Scrutinized.
Oh, that's a good one. To scrutinize means to examine something or someone very closely and critically.
Exactly. So if you think people are scrutinizing your English, you think they're listening to every single sound, looking for mistakes. But as Tom said, they usually aren't. And the third word is fluency.
Fluency. We hear that a lot.
Yes, but I want to clarify it. Fluency does not mean perfection. It flows from the word fluid, like water. It means speaking smoothly without stopping too much. It's about flow, not about having zero grammar mistakes.
That's a crucial distinction. Okay, Ria, based on these words, what's the question for our listeners?
My question for you listening right now is this. Have you ever felt paralyzed by the fear of being scrutinized when speaking English? I want you to answer that out loud to yourself right now. Just a simple yes or no, and maybe think of a specific time it happened.
Take a second to think about that. It is important to admit it. I know I have felt it.
Me too. But moving on, Tom, I want to dig deeper into this idea of not caring, because it is easy to say stop caring, but it is really hard to do. How does someone actually flip that switch in their brain?
That is the million-dollar question. I think it starts with redefining what a mistake is. We grow up in school systems where mistakes are bad, red pen on the paper, bad grade, failure. So we're conditioned to avoid mistakes at all costs.
Oh, absolutely. The red pen trauma is real. I hated getting my essays back covered in red ink.
Right? But in language learning, and in life really, a mistake is not a failure. It is data. It is information. When you say something wrong and someone corrects you, or you notice it yourself, that's the moment you learn. If you never make the mistake, you never get the lesson.
I love looking at it as data. That is so logical. It takes the emotion out of it. Instead of feeling ashamed, you just think, oh, interesting. That did not work. Let me try a different way.
Exactly. It's like a scientist in a lab. If an experiment explodes, they don't cry and say, I'm a bad scientist. They say, okay, don't mix those two chemicals again.
I'm laughing, picturing our listeners blowing up a lab with their English. But it makes sense. So, to stop caring about judgment, we need to start caring more about learning?
Yes, you have to care about the goal more than you care about the ego. Your ego wants to look cool. Your ego wants to be perfect. But your goal is to connect with another human being. If you prioritize connection over perfection, the fear starts to fade away.
Connection over perfection. I think I need to tattoo that on my arm. It's so easy to forget. I have a friend who speaks Spanish, and her grammar is honestly all over the place. She messes up masculine and feminine all the time. But she has so many friends. She laughs, she tells stories, she uses her hands. Nobody cares about her grammar because she's so fun to talk to.
See? That's the perfect example. She stopped caring about the rules and started caring about the people. And I bet her Spanish is improving faster than someone who sits at home studying textbooks but never speaks.
Oh, 100%. Because she's getting so much practice. She's in the messy middle of it.
The messy middle. I like that phrase. Learning a language is messy, it's awkward, it's full of misunderstandings. If you try to keep it clean and perfect, you'll never really get anywhere. You have to be willing to get your hands dirty.
Tom, I feel like there's another layer to this. Sometimes we don't care about strangers judging us. We care about people we know, like our colleagues or our friends. That feels higher stakes, does it not?
It definitely feels higher stakes because these are people you see every day. You have a reputation to maintain. Maybe you're a manager or a doctor or an expert in your field in your native language. Then you switch to English and suddenly you feel like a child.
Yes, that feeling of losing your intelligence. I hear that from students all the time. They say, Ria, in my own language, I'm funny and smart, but in English, I feel like a 5-year-old. It's frustrating.
It's incredibly frustrating. It's a loss of identity. But here's the trick. People don't judge your intelligence based on your accent or your grammar. They judge your intelligence based on your ideas.
Can you say that again? That's powerful.
People judge you on your ideas, not your grammar. If you have a brilliant solution to a problem at work and you communicate it in broken English, it's still a brilliant solution. The value is in the thought, not the package it comes in.
That is so true. We often underestimate how patient people are. If someone is listening to you, they usually want to understand you. They're on your team. They're not sitting there with a scorecard giving you points.
Unless you're taking an exam, nobody's grading you. In the real world, the only pass or fail is, did we understand each other? If the answer is yes, you passed.
Tom, we are flowing again, but I noticed another set of really good words that we just used. I think it's time for our second checkpoint.
You're right. We've covered some good ground. What are the 3 hardest words from this last section, Ria?
Okay, the first one is conditioned. You said we are conditioned to avoid mistakes.
Yes, conditioned.
To be conditioned means to be trained or influenced over a long period of time to behave in a certain way. It is like a habit that is deep in your mind because of how you were raised or taught.
Exactly. Like Pavlov's dog. We are conditioned to react to bells and grades. What is the next word?
The next word is ego. E-G-O. It is a small word but a big concept.
The ego. It is the part of your mind that is responsible for your sense of self-importance.
Right. Your ego is the part of you that wants to be admired and hates being criticized. It is the voice that says, I need to look good. Learning to quiet your ego is a huge part of learning English.
And the third word?
The third word is reputation.
Reputation.
Your reputation is the opinion that people in general have about you. It is how you are viewed by others. People are often afraid that speaking bad English will damage their professional reputation.
Which, as we discussed, is usually not true. Okay, Ria, what is the specific question for our listeners now?
Here is the question. Do you feel like your personality changes when you speak English? Do you feel like you lose your sense of humor or your intelligence? I want you to think about who you are in your native language versus who you are in English.
That's a deep one. I think almost everyone will nod their head to that.
I think so too. But Tom, let's pivot a little bit. We have talked about the mindset. We know we need to stop caring about judgment. We know we need to prioritize connection. But what can our listeners actually do tomorrow to start practicing this? Do you have any practical exercises?
I do, and this one is going to sound a little crazy, but bear with me. It's called the Bad English Day.
The bad English day? That sounds like a nightmare.
It sounds like a nightmare, but it's actually a liberation. The idea is to set aside one day, or maybe just 1 hour, where your goal is to speak bad English.
Wait, you want them to make mistakes on purpose?
Not necessarily on purpose, but you lower the bar so much that you just don't care. You tell yourself, today I'm going to use the wrong prepositions. Today I'm not going to worry about pronunciation. I'm just going to speak fast and loud.
I see what you're doing. You're taking the pressure off.
Exactly. By giving yourself permission to be bad, you relax. And the funny thing is, when you relax, you usually speak better. You stop overthinking. The words just come out.
That reminds me of singing in the shower. I'm a great singer in the shower because I don't care. But if you put me on a stage, I would freeze. So you're saying make the world your shower.
Make the world your shower. I love that. Yes, just let it out. Another practical tip is to announce your insecurity.
Announce it? You mean tell people you're nervous?
Yes, if you're in a meeting or talking to a native speaker and you feel that panic rising, just say it. Say, hey, I'm a little nervous about my English today, so please bear with me.
Oh, that is so powerful. It's like popping a balloon. The tension just disappears.
It really does, because 99% of the time, the other person will smile and say, oh, don't worry at all. Your English is great. And suddenly, you're not fighting the secret fear anymore. You've put it out on the table.
It's vulnerability, and vulnerability creates connection. When you admit you're struggling, people want to help you. They don't want to attack you.
Exactly. We're social creatures. We like helping. If you act perfect and aloof, people might judge you. But if you're humble and open, they'll root for you.
They'll root for you. That's a great phrasal verb. It means they will support you and want you to succeed, like fans at a soccer game.
Yes, imagine everyone you speak to is a fan rooting for you to get the sentence out.
I really like that visualization. You know, Tom, there's another aspect of stopping caring that we haven't touched on yet. It's the fear of the accent. I know so many people who have perfect grammar, really high-level vocabulary, but they hate their accent. They want to sound British or American, and because they don't, they stay silent.
Oh, the accent trap. This is a huge one. I have a strong opinion on this.
Let's hear it.
Your accent is your history. It's a map of where you've been. It shows you speak another language, which is a superpower. Why would you want to hide that?
I agree completely, but people feel that a strong accent makes them hard to understand.
There is a difference between pronunciation and accent. Pronunciation is clarity. Can I understand the word? Accent is the flavor. You need clear pronunciation, yes, but you do not need a neutral accent. Think about some of the most famous people in the world. Actors, politicians, CEOs. Many of them have thick accents. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sofia Vergara, Gal Gadot.
Yes, and nobody thinks they are stupid. In fact, their accents make them unique. It makes them memorable.
Exactly. If you try to scrub away your accent completely, you are trying to erase part of yourself. And it takes so much mental energy to try to sound like a native speaker that you have no energy left for the actual conversation.
That is such a good point. If I am focusing 80% of my brain on making my R sound American, I only have 20% left to listen to what you were saying, and then I'm not a good conversation partner.
Right, so stop caring about the accent. Care about clarity. If people ask you to repeat yourself, do not apologize. Just repeat it. It is not a crime.
It is not a crime. We need to put that on a t-shirt too. Repeating yourself is normal. Even native speakers ask each other to repeat things all the time. What did you say? Sorry, I missed that. It happens in every conversation.
It really does, especially in noisy places. We assume it is because of our English, but sometimes it's just because the music is loud or the other person wasn't listening.
Tom, we're getting towards the end of our time, but I feel like we have hit another rich vein of vocabulary. Shall we do one final checkpoint before we wrap up?
Let's do it. Give me the 3 tough words from this last segment on practical tips and accents.
Okay, the first word is liberation. You used it when talking about the bad English day.
Liberation. It's a strong word.
It means the act of setting someone free. Freedom. Feeling liberated means feeling like a heavy weight has been taken off your shoulders.
A beautiful feeling. What is next?
The next word is vulnerability.
We talk about this a lot in modern psychology.
Yes, vulnerability is the quality of being open to emotional harm or attack. But in a social context, it means being brave enough to show your true self, including your weaknesses. It's the opposite of putting up a wall.
And the last word?
The last word is aloof. A-L-O-O-F.
Good one. That's not very common, but very descriptive.
If someone is aloof, they are cool and distant. They do not seem friendly or interested in other people. We said if you try to be too perfect, you might seem aloof.
So do not be aloof. Be vulnerable. All right, Ria, what is the final question for today?
The final question is about your accent. Do you like your accent? I want you to look in the mirror today and say, my accent is my history. Ask yourself, am I trying to fix my accent for clarity, or am I trying to hide who I am?
That is a powerful question to end on. Hiding who you are is exhausting. Being who you are is energizing.
It really is. You know, Tom, doing this podcast today, I feel lighter. Just talking about this reminds me that I don't have to be perfect either.
Me neither. I stumbled over a few words today. I think I said condition instead of conditioned at one point. And guess what? The world did not end. The podcast is still recording.
And the listeners are still here because they care about the message, not the mistake.
So, to everyone listening, we want you to walk away from this episode with one clear instruction. Stop caring about the judgment. Stop caring about the result. Start caring about the fun. Start caring about the connection.
English is just a tool. It's a bridge between you and another person. Don't set the bridge on fire because you're afraid the paint isn't perfect. Just walk across it.
Walk across the bridge. I love it.
Thank you so much for listening to Real English Voices.
We hope you feel a little more brave today.
We'll catch you in the next episode. Keep speaking, keep making mistakes, and keep being awesome.
Bye, everyone.
See ya!